Do you ever wonder why you always wind up with the narcissist or the jerk, or how you somehow are a magnet to these manipulative people? Don't worry, I got you. In today's video, we're gonna go into why you attract these type of people and how can you stop. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm so excited you found my channel. On this channel, we get to the root of the issue and we learn how to heal and deal. So if that's your thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to be a part of the fam. Let's get into today's video. So if you are someone that attracts manipulative people, narcissistic people, and you may continue those relationships or you may go back to those relationships, don't worry, you're not stupid. There's nothing inherently wrong with you. There are specific type of people that attract narcissists and attract manipulative, toxic people. One of the first reasons why you may attract these people is you may have grew up with abuse or you had past encounters with abusers. If you grew up being abused by a narcissist, you are then more prone to being a victim again, especially if it's emotional abuse. Emotional abuse is so sneaky. It's not out there in front of you like it is with physical abuse. There is a lot of psychological damage that happens as a child, and you start to normalize it, or you find comfort in it. That's the first thing. Is people who are abused become addicted to that abuse because you become addicted to the high after the low. We as humans, we always look for familiarity. So narcissists, being around narcissistic type people, that's familiar to you. So you will then gravitate more towards those people. Not only that, but we usually are attracted to people that are either similar to our parents or the complete opposite. So you may be attracted to narcissistic type people because you had a narcissistic type parent. Also, if you haven't healed that inner child, those feelings of not being good enough, not worthy, being unnurtured, not feeling validated, you are then going to look for that healing in other people and seek their approval. That's your way of trying to deal with those feelings, because our brain doesn't like cognitive dissonance. It doesn't like to be uncomfortable. It will always try to bring those things forward, and it wants you to deal with it. So if that part of you is not healed, it will come out in other ways, like being attracted to narcissistic and toxic type people. That's your brain's way of dealing with those uncomfortable feelings. That's how you feel like you're potentially trying to gain that approval and that love. So if you take a step back and you look at your past relationships or even the current relationship you're in, how similar are they to your parent? If they're pretty similar, then you know, like, that is a reason why. Or if you've encountered past abuse, because like I said, you don't really learn those things in school, which I'll go into the traits that a narcissistic type person or a toxic abusive person looks for. You don't realize that it's inherently wrong because you're being emotionally manipulated to believe that it's okay, to believe that they're actually caring about you. So you don't recognize these things. Narcissistic type people, they are a shell of a person. So they are looking for someone where they can get the supply from. They are not able to nurture themselves through negative times. They're not able to deal with their negative traits. They are children stuck in their abuse. So they are looking for someone that will fill their ego, because they are not looking towards healing their ego. They're looking towards filling their ego, controlling and manipulating people. So you meet their needs in some sort of way. You most likely have the traits they're looking for, which I will go into those traits. The next reason why you may attract toxic people is because you are an empath, which means basically you feel for people very strongly. You feel people's emotions very strongly. You're very connected to nature, and things impact you in a more intense way than other people. And there's only about 2% of people, I'm pretty sure it's either 1 to 2% of people are empaths. And there are studies that show most empaths are people that were abused in childhood because they had to take on the emotions of their abuser to protect themselves. So now that's kind of been ingrained in their brain of kind of feeling people's emotions very intensely. So you will feel like you take other people's emotions as if they're your own. And with being an empath, it usually means you're very compassionate. So you will want to help people and take care of them and make sure they're okay. Since you feel that emotion so strongly, like it's your own, you want to help those people. Now, toxic and narcissistic type people, they see that as a tool. They see like, oh, this person, they're really compassionate and they have a lot of empathy. Like, that's something I don't have. They don't think this, but subconsciously, like, oh, I don't have that. I want that. I need that. I want them to make me feel like I'm a victim and they have to take care of me and they feel bad for me. They also see it as a tool, as a way to manipulate you a lot easier and to control you, because they can say like, oh, I feel bad, like you have to do this for me, and they know that you're more likely to do it because you feel for them. So there's a lot more guilting you and controlling you because of that. The next reason why is you are codependent, you're a people pleaser, you're a fixer. So if you are someone that's codependent, you are someone where you did not receive validation as a child, and you now seek validation through helping others, through pleasing others, through fixing others. That's how you feel good about yourself. That's how you feel like a whole person, because you did not receive validation as a child. Whether you were emotionally neglected, whether you had a narcissistic parent, whether you had absent parents, it doesn't matter. You didn't receive validation as a child. So the way that you felt validated was by fixing. You felt like your parents maybe approved of you when you helped them. Whatever it is, that's how you felt validated as a person. So when something's wrong, you feel bad for people and you immediately want to fix them. That's how you have gotten your validation, by helping, by people pleasing. That's how you dealt with your past abuse. So that's what you want to, that's how you deal with other people. And narcissistic toxic people, they're very attracted to that because they want to be nurtured. They want someone to take care of them. They want someone to manipulate, and they know if they have a problem, you will fix it. They can be really selfish and they know that you'll take it on. So narcissists are pretty much like the opposite of codependents, where codependents are extremely selfless and they give and they're people pleasing because they want to be accepted in that way. Narcissists are really selfish and they think about themselves, and they think the way to get their way and they get people to like them is by manipulating, controlling people. But they're both struggling for that validation. They can't deal with their own stuff. They can't deal with their negative emotions. So they either overly help or they only think about themselves. So if you're codependent, you will constantly be fixing and people pleasing and looking for ways to help. And so because of that, the narcissist is extremely attracted to that. They are someone that, like I said with the empaths, like they want someone to take care of them, that will nurture them, that they can easily manipulate, that doesn't have a strong sense of self, that doesn't have those boundaries. So they will seek out particular people that are codependent, that they know they're more likely to get their way. And they know you're more likely to try to please them, and they can take advantage of that. And also as a codependent, it's hard for you to feel like you can do things on your own. You self-doubt a lot, and you may feel like you need other people to do things for you because it was ingrained in your brain you can't trust yourself. So it's very easy for manipulative people to take control of that, because then they can take an advantage, like, oh, this person, like, they don't have a strong sense of self, they don't have that self-love, so now I can take advantage and they will ask me for help and they need me. Because narcissists, you can also be a codependent narcissist where they want to be needed as well, but what they'll do is when they're needed is they'll throw it in your face. But narcissists, they like to feel like they're teachers, they have big egos, they like to feel like they're leaders. So that's why it's codependent, where as a codependent you feel like you need other people, you need people to help, but you also need people to help you because you feel like you're incompetent of doing things. And it's great with the narcissist. It works both ways with the narcissist because they like to feel like they're above people, and they also want to be taken care of. The next reason why is you have low self-worth and little sense of self. So narcissists easily prey on people who have low sense of self because they don't really know who they are. So it's very easy to manipulate if you don't have your own ideas and opinions, and you don't know who you are or the requirements you have in a friend. It's very easy to take advantage of that. Or if you have low self-worth, where you don't think very highly of yourself and you don't think you're worth much, then you will easily find those people because you're feeling at the bottom, you're at that low, and they're also at that low. So it's very easy to find that. They'll purposely prey on your insecurities and bring attention to them, because then it keeps you from realizing your worth, and you then believe you're worth the abuse. The more insecure you feel, the less likely you are to leave them because you feel like you need them. And you're less likely to question them as well, because they're telling you, you're believing their word. They're telling you, like, I'm doing this because I care about you. I'm the only one. You need me. You're being told all these things, so you believe it. And even though you're feeling bad, your intuition is going off, you feel bad, you don't believe it because you believe what they're saying, because you have such low self-worth and you don't even know who you really are. And they keep you in that negative place. That negative voice becomes your voice. All the negative things they tell you, it becomes your own voice, and you believe it. Like I always say, your thoughts become your beliefs, which become your actions. So these thoughts you're hearing, they become your own thoughts, and you believe them, and then you act on them. You stay in those unhealthy relationships. You go back to those unhealthy relationships. So what you tell yourself, you're bad, or you suck, or you deserve these things, then you're gonna easily be attracted to those people. Those people rather are gonna attract you. Which goes into the next point, is you don't trust yourself. Part of growing up with abusive people or being in past abusive relationships, you lose the trust for yourself because you listen to the self-doubt. You listen to that abusive person more than yourself. And they train you not to listen to yourself. If you listen to yourself, then they won't have anything to work with. They purposely try to teach you not to trust yourself. They want you to rely heavily on them. Once you rely on them, they can easily manipulate and control you and call the shots and do whatever they want to you. The way they do this is by doing things like gaslighting you, making you question your reality. They will make you feel like you're crazy, or you don't have your own opinion, or you're not allowed. And then you get stuck in the cycle where it happens with the next person and the next person. And it causes you not to trust yourself at all. Even if there's a nice person, you'll start to question, why are they being nice? That's weird. Like, there must be a hidden motive. So with this in mind, you don't trust yourself, you don't trust other people, which then leaves you in the hands of manipulative and toxic people. So like we talked about the familiarity, you will trust the familiarity because you're like, okay, I can't trust myself, I can't trust others. What's familiar? Oh, this is familiar. I'm going to lean towards this. And then you wind up in those people's hands over and over again, and they keep instilling that belief that you shouldn't trust yourself, you're not smart, you don't know what you're talking about. And so you become scared to trust yourself because these people are telling you not to trust yourself, but you know you're in this cycle and you keep going back to it and you don't know what to do. It leaves you confused and lost. They have manipulated you to believe that you are wrong and your intuition is wrong and you shouldn't trust yourself. And so because of the lack of trust for yourself, you don't make the right decisions. Because trust and believe, your intuition, that goes off. You know, you just don't listen to it. Which goes into the next point, is you ignore red flags. So we all have intuition. We all have a feeling inside our body that goes off when something feels like really right or really wrong. When we get a good feeling like, oh, that felt right. Like, yeah, this feels good. Or we get like that negative feeling like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I should go to New York City. I feel like something is off. And your intuition is never wrong. It's really like there's signs that your conscious mind doesn't pay attention to that your subconscious usually does. And it's like your subconscious being like, listen to me, like something's off, like trust yourself. And it's unexplainable, but your intuition is never wrong. People think intuition may be wrong because they're listening to insecurity. Because there's a difference between insecurity and intuition. Insecurity will go off like where there's fears where like, I don't know, I'm scared to trust this person. Like, it's not necessarily that deep gut feeling like, no, this doesn't feel right. So the thing is, you want to listen to your intuition. And the problem is you didn't listen to your intuition. You didn't trust yourself. So you ignore those red flags. So you may get a sign where maybe their actions don't match their words. You ignore it. You're like, you know what? Everyone makes mistakes. Maybe they just messed up. It's fine. It's not a big deal. So you ignore that red flag. Then they talk about being like that all their exes are crazy. And again, you're like, oh my God, I feel so bad. Like, no, like they are victim. Like, I feel so bad. I need to help them. I need to take care of them. Like, I want to show them that I'm the right person. You ignore that red flag. And then it continues where you ignore the red flags. And then later on down the line, you're like, shoot, like I saw that was coming, but I ignored myself. Like, you know, but you've got caught in this cycle of not listening to yourself and self-doubting, because that's the voice that's been in your head for so long. You always somehow rationalize that, like, what they're doing is okay, and, you know, you're going to continue to move on with it. You think maybe it's you, maybe you're just being skeptical, but it's not. You actually are right. You need to not ignore those red flags. So going into what do you do about it now that you know why you attract these people, the first thing is to be aware. Educate yourself. Educate yourself on narcissistic type people. Educate yourself on manipulative type people. Become aware of the signs you want to look out for. The next thing is that you need to build trust on yourself. You need to heal those inner wounds that you've dealt with all those toxic people, and know that not everyone is like that. Those are just the people that you felt familiar. Those are the type of people that you were familiar with, or the people that you felt like you deserve to be around. Whatever it is, you need to learn how to trust yourself again. Listen to your intuition. Don't listen to that self-doubt. Don't let anyone try to tell you otherwise or manipulate how you're feeling. Trust yourself and form a sense of self. Who are you? What do you want in your life? What are your ideas? What are your opinions? What do you require? What are your requirements when it comes to the type of friends and romantic partner? And don't settle for anything less. You need to have boundaries and form self-love. So boundaries are just fences we keep up to protect yourself from things that we don't want. And you need to do that, as that's a practice of self-love. Do things for you. Prioritize you. Don't let just anyone take advantage of you. And really work on validating yourself, especially if you're codependent and you're a people pleaser. You don't have to go out of your way to make people like you, or you don't have to go out of your way to gain that validation. Validate yourself. Work on loving yourself and validating yourself and taking care of yourself. Worry about you. Don't make other people's feelings your responsibility. You're not responsible for other people's feelings. You're only responsible for yourself. So focus on yourself, how you respond to things. You can't control how other people perceive you, and you need to let that go. When you have a strong sense of self, when you love yourself, when you have boundaries, when you're aware of what you want, you're aware of yourself, and you're aware of these type of people, you're less likely to be attracted to those people, because you know that is not what you deserve. And you know you don't want those things. I talk more about self-love and healing codependency and all of those things, how to be self-aware, all those things throughout my channel. So if you want more information, definitely check it out. What do you guys think? Leave it all in the comments below. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share with somebody you think may need it. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye, guys. So if you were oh my god, a frog in my throat. And if you're new here, and so if you are codependent, you are someone that you feel, what am I trying to say? This daylight savings time, man, it's making me so tired. Not like I'm always tired, but my dog's sitting on a hanger. Don't ask me why. Okay, get into the video, girl. Get to the Oh my god, I'm just imagining someone hearing me.